Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your boy, Charlotte Katakuri. Get ready for a very spicy deck profile featuring OP10 here on the channel, let alone a leader in which is very dominant once upon a time. Now going into OP10, he has gained access to some new cards, being 8-drop Eustace Kid, Basil Hawkins, and the good old electromagnetic cannon, which does a lot of things for Katakuri. It's very similar to an older card that we once loved way back in the day, or loathed, depending on how you want to say it, which is Reject. Except for Cannon kills a character on board of 5 cost or less. Reject did the same thing, or it dealt 1 damage to your opponent's life if they were at 1 life. This card, of course, is banned. Now we have access to Cannon, which does a very similar thing, except for this time in Katakuri, it kills a character, right? A blocker on board, and it also peeks at your opponent's life or your life, and then you can rearrange it, which is really good. So being able to utilize this in Katakuri allows us to remove a lot of problematic characters in the current metagame, such as things like Smoker, Cavendish, some of the big boys in which we're going to see running around here in green decks. Let alone it also allows you to remove some of the blockers that you're going to see in black decks, such as Frankie, of course, purple, Frankie, of course, which is really good. Now, with that being said, this deck is going to utilize a lot of burn mechanics, and that's the name of the game, especially when it comes to yellow right now in OP10. Unless you're still out there trying to play an L for some reason. If you are playing an L, I will be diving into another list in a later video that's going to be Skypiea oriented, so we'll get into that. Currently, with Katakuri, at least the way I like to play him, we're going to be utilizing Nico Robin, 8-drop Kid, 7-drop Mom, and the good old 10 Mom. All of these cards here are going to have some form of card rip. And that's also including the one and the only, Onami, which gives you Banish, which technically is kind of like a card rip on attack, right? Everything else has that on-play mechanic that allows you just to rip life for free. So going first or going second matters not to you in OP10 with Katakuri. It's nice from back in the day, you know, we would utilize, you know, the good old pudding drop. You play this down and search out the Big Mom. The following turn, you drop the good old Sparrow. I mean, that's still a thing. We can still utilize that as well. I just feel that's a little bit slower, and it's your opponent knows it's gonna happen. You swing 5, you drop Sparrow, you pass, right? Ooh. Now in the current metagame, going first or second doesn't really matter all too much, just because on turn 6 dawn, you have access to dropping Nico Robin, ripping life. Going into the following turn, you can go ahead and drop down Eustace Kid and rip another life. And then Big Mom, right? Rip another life, which is great. Another one. Now, if you go first, you have access to Charlotte Linlin for the 7-drop. Or, you know, this is just a me thing. You know, you don't have to run it, of course, but your good old Soul Pocus. Again, just a me thing. We'll talk about it in a split second. Another life rip. Or healing, which is really good. Now, in an all serious manner, of course, you guys don't have to run this. This is just a personal preference. This is a me thing. You may be wondering, where's Kiko? Or Kikinojo, right? Remove this, toss this in here, do a thing, you call it good, right? Kikinojo allows you to have a body on board. It's a 6k swinger, let alone if your opponent's at 3 life or less, which is very easy to do in this deck when you're burning life for free by playing a character on board. You slap down Kikinojo if your opponent decides to attack into it. You guys know the thing. You get the heal. It's great. The downside to this, whether or not OP10 or OP9, Katakuri was not doing great into a certain deck out there called Blackbeard. So Kikinojo's not really going to help you in that matchup regardless, in Blackbeard or not. He's going to have ways of removing it, allowing you not to get the ability off, right? Let's be fair. But against a lot of other decks in the format, Kikinojo is still really strong. Being a 6k, healing you, giving your opponent the choice of the matter is nice. Now, for me, I'm going to be running around with Soul Pocus. For you, you'll probably run this. You'll probably try out Soul Pocus and hate it. Or, another good option, okay? Are you ready? It's going to be Bonnie. I know, but again, hear me out. If you notice this list, I'm trying to include as many cards in this deck that have counter to them. On top of are already 2Ks. We run 4 Capones, 4 Sathores, and the 4 Frankies. Everything else in this deck will have counter outside of your Big Moms, your Kid, and then your 4-drop, whether it's going to be Electromagnetic Cannon or your Soul Pocus. Everything else in this deck has at least 1K counter, which is great. It allows you to stay a little bit healthy in the early game. That way you can last long enough to drop the Nico Robins into the Kids and to start healing up with the Big Moms. It's very, very, very good. Now with the Jewelry Bonnie, this has the exact same ability, are you ready? As Electro Cannon on trigger, as Basil Hawkins on trigger. All of these cards, 4. This could be 4 as well, so that could be 12 cards, you know, technically, that allow you to draw 2 trash 1. Why is that great? Because it allows you to filter cards out of your hand, allows you to draw into your Big Moms, allows you to draw into your late game pieces that you're gonna need to see every single game for consistency. And this is why I decided to add in Jewelry Bonnie for those games if you guys don't want to run Soul Pocus, right? Those are my preferences when it comes to what you can use in that slot. Of course, there's other options, right? What happened to the good old Gadetsu? What happened to that? Well, there's not going to be a lot of Doflamingo players running around. And this was the main focus for Yellow, was Gadetsu. You didn't swing into Dofi, right, for the first turn. You drop Gadetsu in the following turn, you pop the body on board, whether that's a Jinbei, or whether that's a Marshall D. Teach, or a Blocker, or Boa, you're popping something. Now with that ban being set in stone, you're going to see less Doflamingos, therefore less usage out of Gadetsus. What decks run Gadetsu in the first place? Katakuri? And no. When it comes to yellow decks, that's pretty much it. You're not going to see it in Law. You might see it here and there in Eustace Kid, but the main 2, Enel, Katakuri, which haven't really been meta-defining decks, Gadetsu's going to lose a little bit of play. And it is what it is, alright, you know, that's fine. So we have to make do for that spot, and I decided to fit in Kikinojo, Jewelry Bonnie, Soul Pocus, one of those 3, just my personal preferences there. Other than that, this list is very aggro, especially with the Life Rip. You have ways of removing bodies on board, whether that's going to be the Frankies, the Rosinantes, the Blockers. Cannon has you covered. Unfortunately, you can't search this out, no way. You know, you have to draw into it depending on the matchup. You mulligan for it. You have ways of getting it. You have the Hawkins, you have the Bonnie, you have a lot of ways of drawing into this card when you need it. There are going to be times where you don't see it and you can't get over the body unless you are swinging into it or your opponent is forced to block. That's great. Considering the fact that you rip life so fast, and it's a little bit harder for them to guard, especially when your leader is swinging for 7k every single turn, it's pretty aggressive. Either way, we're going to play a bunch of games today. I do hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. Remember, hit the like button so we get these things floating around. And I'll see you guys in a split second. Let's get at it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Come at you guys with Katakuri playing into Jewelry Bonnie, right? I mean, let's be fair. She can slap down Zoro and win the game. What is this hand? Sim shuffling in a nutshell. I guess we're just going to go heavily into face until we get a body on board. There's a Big Mom. Not what I want to see. I mean, it's kind of nice, but still. Either way, we're diving into OP10 here very, very soon. And Bonnie is going to be my deck of choice alongside of Yamato and Captain Kid. And again, you guys might see a little bit of Rebecca. And I might be talking about this later on in another match. I don't know yet. I probably will, to be fair. Give you guys some more, a little bit more deeds, you know? But currently, this should be a tough matchup. I absolutely hate seeing Jewelry Bonnie as Katakuri, especially when we have no way of removing the 8-cost Kid. We have no way of removing Zoro now, so a little scary, you know what I mean? And we also have no bodies on board. So, yeah, this is going to be a rough one. That's a big hand she's got going on. We have a lot of 2k counters. It's not going to be it's not going to do us any good when she slaps down Zoro here. There's a Smoker. Another one of our problematic nightmares we got to deal with now. Another 0-cost event. This is fantastic. Let's go huge to face again. Hey, look, there's Zoro on the bottom of life. It goes. Yes, please. I mean, eventually she has to slow down a blocker here to slow me down, right? 11 cards. She's at 8 Dawn. She can slap down Kid, restand. Or, okay, Cavendish, here it is. Yeah, sure. Then what? Smoker goes heavy, gets the banish off, I'd assume. Carrot, okay. 5. I mean, that's okay. Oh, not bad, not bad. Oof, there's a lot of good stuff here, though. Yep. 7 lead. We have to counter out here. We have the Nami to deal with it, but I don't know if it's worth it for next turn. I think it's better to get down the 7-drop Mom. I say that though, but in hindsight, if we don't deal with this Cavendish and or Smoker now, we'll probably lose the game. But having the 7-drop Mom on board is just, it's pressure here, right? Because we also get the heal. There's no way she goes down to 1 life. If we play Nami, we discard a 2k. So, let's risk it. Where's go face? She definitely has the counter for the Smoker, so at least this way she has to give me a 4k counter to get out of this one, instead of 2k for the Smoker. Yep. Drop the Mom. We should heal here, which is great. It's like a little cushion, you know? Because Bonnie's just gonna run me over here in a minute. I mean, we do have an army of 2Ks in hand, so this might be one of those crawling back from the grave type matches. We'll see. We'll get there, boys. We'll get there. She's at 10. It doesn't harm her here to play down Hody Jones or... Okay, 7 lead. Sure. We do have to counter, though. I don't want to burn this. What do you drop here? Yep. I was thinking she had to play something before she swings with Cavendish. Just Zoro's not the one we want to see. 2 Dawn up. So she will restand 2 more Dawn here, which is enough for a blocker. This is irrelevant at this point. Ah, she goofed. Yeah, she definitely goofed. She should have played Zoro first, right? And then attacked with Cavendish to restand the Dawn, and then restood Dawn with Smoker. That way she would have had 2 extra Dawn to play down like a Rosinante if she has it in hand. But mistakes happen. That's fine. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she did that. Now, I think our only play is just to go face. I mean, Kara's gonna rest Big Mom anyway, so this is her only opportunity to attack. Because next turn she rests with Carrot. It's frozen, right? Another 4k counter out of hands. Or go to 0 life. Yep. Now we play the Big Mom. Alright, boys. Here we go. I'm about to get bullied. We need to see Beji, 0 cost event in bottom life. Or we need to see a... I think that's it. I think that's the only thing that's going to save us here. I mean, if we get a Soul Pocus off life, what really happens? She goes to 0? Or she heals me? I imagine she would heal me, so that's another cushion, right? Okay. 7 restands to 2. She learned from last turn, which is great. I would probably just go face. There's no reason to attack Big Mom here, because you're going to keep it frozen with Carrot anyway. Yep. Well, we saw the 0 cost event, just not at the bottom so far. That's kind of rough. She got into 7. She doesn't really need to attach Dawn with Smoker here. Interesting. Going 7 lead again. She's got 8 Dawn left. So that's frozen. I guess we can give him a 0 cost event and the Big Mom, I suppose. Or we can just take this hit. Let's take it, actually. 10 drop Mom. Okay. That's okay. I don't think we'll have an opportunity to use it, but it's fine. The Rosinante on the board, though, does give me the problem. Unless she tries to kill me this turn with the Zoro, and she doesn't have any Dawn left to stand up, I think we'll be okay. Because that way we can get 2 attacks off. Alright, Zoro, do your worst. Can I get a Beji, please? Or a 0 cost event? We need to be saved. Just go 9 to face. I believe in you, Bonnie. You got this. Can't believe Zoro's stuck on board this long. Without a Raigo, this is going to be a pain, man. There's 11. Hey, actually, you know what? You know what, boys? We did it. We win. Because she attacks me with leader, and then she uses the rest of the Dawn for Zoro, right? I think that's the way this is going to work. Because we can take this hit. There's a kid. That sucks to see. And she needs 1 Dawn. Okay, never mind. She's going for game. Interesting. Well, we counter out. We block the other one. And we should be able to win here. That's it. I wonder how mad. She gotta be upset. Oh my. I think we win off this, honestly. Or no, we actually don't. We can play the kid down, burn the life, and then we have 2 attacks here. So I think we'd win either way. I mean, review your opponents, I guess. Zoro. Yeah, we knew that's there. Pop this for free. And then we just go huge and huge. And well played. Let's go 12. That's fine. There's the Zoro. Did she have the counter for the other way? Oh wow, she did have the counter for the other way. That's alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're gonna dive into a bunch of games today. Come at you guys with Katakuri, playing into Gecko Moria. Yes, I'm aware Gecko Moria is probably not the best deck right now in the format, considering he lost Ice Age, he lost Moria. What else can this deck do? I get it. I wasn't gonna record here, but I can use this moment to talk to you guys, and then perhaps run over this Moria and go about our day. Now, with that being said, we're playing a little bit of a spicy variant. I already told you we're using Soul Pocus. Again, you can cut the card out of the deck entirely. Definitely up to you. Slapping some Kikanojos, slapping some other 2K counters, slapping some Jewelry Bonnies. Just do what you want, man. Soul Pocus is fun. I like it. It is what it is. Now, with that out of the way, we will be diving... Ooh, actually, let's pop this. We will be diving into OP10 very, very soon. For those of you out there who are, One Piece fans, of course, OP10 drops tomorrow. If you guys are getting boxes, pre-release stuff, all that good fun. Good luck on your pulls. I hope you get what you need, because OP10 is going to be very, very interesting. I played a lot of Enel in OP08, Katakuri in OP08, Enel in OP09. The meta itself was very, very boring. It was stale. There's not so many games I feel like playing when it's just Enel versus Doflamingo or Enel versus Rob Lucci. It's just Dofi, Lucci, BY Luffy. Not the funnest set to play, right? To be fair. Unless you're maining one of those decks, right? But, with that being said, content-wise, there's only so many matches that people can stand when it's just Doflamingo, Rob Lucci, etc., right? Let's be fair. So going into OP10, we have a slew of new decks. Older decks get stuff, new decks come into the format. New decks are actually relevant, can do well, are going to be played here in this set, and I think a lot of people are going to have fun. The nerfs that came out really hurt a lot of dominating decks in the format, whether it's BY Luffy, Gecko Moria here, Doflamingo, just to name a few. Those are some of the core decks that have been playing, that people have been running around with all the time. So now with this meta kind of just wide open, you basically can do whatever you want and until something sticks, right? Let's be fair. With that being said, our locals will be playing with the new ban restriction list already out the gate, which I cannot wait for. A lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this, especially when this list goes live, like locally everywhere. And I think people are tired of seeing the same old decks being everywhere, you know what I mean? So I'll be going into OP10 with me. You guys will be getting a lot more content when it comes to live local plays. And it's something that I'm very much looking forward to. Because previously, being again in OP09, I was very much burnt out. Not with the game in general, just going to locals and seeing the exact same decks everywhere, you know what I mean? That kind of just, it kills the vibe, it kills the mood. And it's not just me, I think it's for a lot of people. So, this ban list, although a lot of people are just, they don't like it, especially if you're a Dofi fan, you're playing Gecko Moria, or sorry, Rob Lucci, or BY Luffy. Hey, it be what it be, man. Sorry you guys got banned. It is what it is. Now we can move on to something new and fresh. People can actually hopefully enjoy the game a lot more. So, there's that. But either way, Katakuri. He didn't really get a lot of new stuff here in OP10. I showed you guys the list. I very much am confident in this deck list. I think it's very good. I think it can do very well into a lot of stuff in today's format. Of course, Blackbeard, good luck. But what are you going to do when all of your deck is on plays, right? Like, what do you want from me, okay? I can't beat every deck for you. I can't come up with every way, or I can't come up with a way to beat every single deck in the format. It's not how this game works. But there are some decks in OP10 that I'm very much looking forward to playing. I will be playing a lot of Jewelry Bonnie. I will be playing a lot of Yamato. And I'll possibly might dabble in the Kid. And then I will hopefully be playing Rebecca. Yes, Rebecca. It's been a long time since you guys seen Rebecca content here on the channel. But that's more so because, you know, the matches tend to take 10 years. So, other than that though, Rebecca, Usopp. Rebecca is more so like a rogue deck, I guess you would say, and people wouldn't really be expecting it. But I think if you're newer to One Piece, you have no idea how to play against it, and you're not ready for it. I also think Rebecca has some tools, especially going into OP10, that can deal with a lot of the current format, so just keep your eye out for that here on the channel. When it comes to Usopp, he's going to be a very, very scary deck in this format with removal, so I do not look forward to playing against him, but you know, somebody out there likes the guy. It is what it is. Katakuri, on the other hand, he's gained access to some new stuff that'll help him utilize more Life Rippy. So, like I've showed you guys earlier with the Nico Robbins, the 8-cost Kid, the Big Mom, the 7-drop, there's a lot of ways in which we can just rip life for free now, especially when it comes to yellow. So whether or not you lose the dice roll and you have to go first, you have the 7-drop Mom, you have the Nico Robbins, you have the 8-drop Kid. You know what I mean? If you don't find your 10-drop Mom, you have a way of ripping life regardless of the situation, in most cases. Rob Lucci. Interesting Moria list, I'll give you that. You know, he's really here trying to rip cards out of my hands. Please don't take my Big Mom. Nice. Okay, we're chilling. Another negative holo. Interesting. So that's negative holo, Rob Lucci's, and the 6-drop Luffy that we've noticed so far, outside of the Perona, right? He's looking to just rip cards from your opponent's hand, which is okay. Sounds like a pretty cool gimmick here, but what top end does he really play when Moria is gone? Do we just play, you know, Sabo and Kaido? Is that really all Moria can do at that point? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the 8-drop Moria kind of gave this deck a lot of oomph. You got the Rebecca, into the Perona, into the Moria. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Without the Moria, it kind of loses. Moria can't even play himself. Alright, that's how bad it is. But I'm pretty sure we got this one in the bag here. Moria can't really remove my 8-drop Mom here with any cards in the deck other than having a lot of different combo pieces, like the Hina, the Toy Soldier, no more Ice Ages. So I think he'll probably attack heavily into the Mom just to get it off the board. He still does have a good chance of winning if I don't have a way of clearing his bodies. But he has one card in hand and we really don't have an issue with this. 11 here. That is the optimal number. You got it. Which is unfortunate, but it's okay. We still have 2 extra attacks, or 2 attacks next turn with the Mom and the Katakuri, so we should be fine. I'd imagine he'd be going face here, because there's no reason not to attack me. Because if he didn't want to lose the Lucci here, he could have swung in with Hogback or something else. But I think he has to attack face, and he gave me another Big Mom, so can't complain. We'll give him a 2K here. Remember, the next one here is going to be Onami, I believe, if I remember correctly. He's going to go 8K to face. Or he's going to put something on board. Nope, just 8 to face. Okay. Oh, Frankie. Okay. What happened to the Nami then? Did we already use it? Because I don't remember. We got lost in talking, so that's fine. Brulee. We'll go 5 over here. We have Big Mom. So we can rip a life, and then we can burn a life here. And then I guess we'll put him on 0. Because there's no way he should be able to kill me here. We could have just killed the Lucci, but again, he has 3 attacks. I think we're fine, boys. We're gonna go 6 to lead here. Yep, that's fine. What are you putting on board? Okay, there's a blocker. I like it, I like it. I mean, he's got 2 extra attacks at this point. We have to take at least 1 of these hits. I kinda need to see a trigger here, I think. Nope. Okay, fair. That's not going to be helpful. I think he's going to go heavy into 10-drop Mom. I think he's contemplating on doing it. Yep. There it is. 13k. I mean, we'll give you the Frankie. He's probably upset about that, but I mean, what do you really want me to do? There's a Hawkins. I think he didn't attack there with Hogback either, because he thinks he probably had lost the game, you know what I mean? I guess we just end it here. Good game though, it was a lot of fun. It always is. I enjoyed talking to you guys here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just keep them coming, rapid fire. Katakuri coming at you again, playing into Marco in OP10. This is going to be another pretty solid deck, I think, in this format. And I think a lot of people might pick up this leader, considering the meta has shifted, has changed. Not going to see a lot of Swarm with Doflamingo. It's going to be nice, man. It's going to be nice. But we'll see. I think Marco does have a chance now, so... Not necessarily saying that Doflamingo was his worst matchup, but... He got some new cards with some of the red stuff that came out with the structured decks if you wanted to utilize some of those, but we'll see. And we're talking about Divine Departure as well from OP10, which is really, really strong in Marco. Being able to use leader skill and kill something on board that has 10k power is kind of disgusting. Cool. That's one Ivankov I don't have to worry about. 3 Dawn up. What does Marco play here? Doflamingo, I guess. The blocker. Another Ivankov. Not a whole lot, right? Okay, Ivankov into Monet. I like it, actually. It's pretty cool. 0 cost events. We don't have a lot going on here. Let's remove the Ivankov here. I know it sounds silly, but it's just going to allow him to keep drawing stuff. So, if we pop this, we can peek at my life, or his. That's fine. We'll go 7 lead. And I'll put that on the bottom. I don't know why I didn't do that originally. It's my fault. It's my bad. But it's okay. 6... I think this one is okay. Sure. I don't really need the blocker here. He can just remove that later the game gets anyway. Marco. We'll burn life for free. And we'll go 7 to lead again. There should be another guaranteed damage. He took the last hit as well. Definitely don't need to see that right now. Because that new gate comes down next turn, Marco's leader ability pops a Nico Robin, so thankfully we don't have to deal with that. Unless he has another one in hands. He probably does. Yep, cool. Saw that coming. I think one of these hits we have to take. Ooh, not bad. I can't complain. But one does have to go here. We can keep one, get rid of the other. We're at 7 Dawn. We play Kid next turn, possibly. Depending on what we draw here. We put him to 0. And then we go 7 lead again. That very much could be the game. We'll see. Another Capone. We'll rip this life. Do we have it? I'll leave that on top. Okay, so there's 8. Next turn we have it. Ooh. We don't really need that, do we? Yeah, we don't really need that. We'll throw away the 0, though. I think if we kept the 0 cost and threw away the Nami, we basically lose counter from hand, right? Because 0 cost, I pitched the Nami that allows us to be 8k. Meanwhile, we still have the Nami in hand, which equals 9k counter. So, there's no way we throw away the Big Mom. There's Divine Departure. Again, such a good card in this deck. I think it's fine to take some of these hits, just not all of them. If he decides to hit me with a new gate here. Yeah, Newgate's gonna smack me here as well. What did we get? We'll pop this. I forgot we had the Nami. You're so cool, man. You're so cool. You know what? We'll use this. We'll put Nami on board. He's got 2 Dawn open, so it's definitely a blocker this turn. It's kind of obvious, right? So Duval, yep. Makes sense. And now we have 2 attackers here, so we definitely win at this point. Well played, buddy. We just have to go 9 here, and the rest on Nami. Cool. And good game. So far, not bad, boys and girls. Doing really well. You know, that match was well deserved, okay? Hear me out, hear me out. You guys saw my hand. That whole game, I got nothing but 2k counters and 0 cost events. Like, it was well deserved. We saw 1 Nami. That's it. No other O Namis, no other 5-drop Namis, nothing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that 4-drop event won that game because we were able to clear the Rosinante. If we were able to drop down the Eustace Kid, we burn the life, right? And then she still has enough counter in hand to protect. I think, right? Because we just go... Actually, no. We won it. We won that way, right? No. Let me think. We play the kid, we burn the life. We attack with Katakuri, or she counters out, right? She would counter out in that scenario, and then block the Big Mom with the Rosinante. So, the 4-cost event definitely won that match. But hey, terrible hands, and we still had it done. This matchup, on the other hand, Law, this deck is very exciting. It's very similar to the OG Law, you know, red-green. But this one, I think it has a ceiling to it. Not saying that the original doesn't, but this one also has a ceiling where it's for newer players. There's definitely going to be a skill gap that we're probably going to see it on the local scene. The deck can be built in numerous different ways as well, which is really, really cool. So I'm very interested to see if this deck does well, at least over here, especially with this new ban wave, or this ban list. So it's going to be fun, man. Yep, what are you searching? Got yourself a Jewelry Bonnie off the search. Interesting. Sure. This goes up to... We go to 6 next turn. I don't necessarily need to put this on board, but it doesn't hurt me not to have another body. Yep. If he didn't use leader ability here, I would be surprised. This way he goes down to 2 and I can't play Nico Robin to burn a life, so... Hypothetically though, if he left it alone, we can burn the life, he'd be at 0, then he has 2 attacks he has to deal with this turn. But we'll pop this, we'll call it a day. We'll go 5 lead and we'll go 7 to face with Katakuri. I'm just trying to pressure his hand as much as possible here. So that's a Jewelry Bonnie he searched out earlier. You want to give me 3k? No? Okay. So far, so good. Because now we go up into 8 Dawn. So we can drop Big Mom or 8 cost Kid. It might be a little bit more beneficial for me to drop the 7 Mom. Yeah, we don't have the counter for this. Instead of the 8 cost Kid. Because the 7 Mom will allow me to probably heal, right? I would think. And then we can smack him for 5 and 7. Which I think is better. I think that's better. I could be wrong. We'll find out though. Let me heal? Yes? There's no way he goes to 1. Because next turn we just rip that. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. I think I should have swung first with Nami, but it's okay. Gives me a 2k. Yes, sir. Let's go 5 lead. So we got a 2k out of hand, we got the heal 1, and we got a 1k counter as well. I think that's worth. Because if we did the Kid, we got to burn the life, we put him to 1. He has options of healing if he has another law, right? Or going to 0 with his leader ability. I don't know. I think both of the ways that I decided to do that were okay. I think, okay? Maybe putting him to 0 here would have been a more beneficial move. Okay, so we did have the other law, so that's fine. Go 6. He's probably going to bounce the 1-drop here. We'll get the blocker on board. Yep. That's a lot of laws. Okay. I'd say I didn't see that coming, but fair. Another Jewelry Bonnie Searcher. Another Kid. So our options really are just burn life here. That's it. That's all we got going on. And then one of these attacks will probably land. I say we drop the 8 cost Kid. Just so our leader can swing. Because he has 2 6 cost or 6k blockers on board. This also helps us filter some of the cards in our hand here. There's a 2k counter, we get the trash. Although Nami can't attack because she doesn't have the, the Dawn, going 8k with both of these at least forces him to give me the blocker plus counter. And I don't think he can kill me next turn. He doesn't really play with removal, so there's that. So Brûlé should be fine to at least take one of these hits. He's going to keep this one on board. Yep. We'll attack into that, just to remove it. We'll pass it over. Not bad, actually. We'll get rid of the other Kid. Get the 0 cost event here. So we have a blocker and 4k counter. I think we're fine. Oof. If we block, he just kills it with the other law. So I guess we have to use the 0 cost event here. This would be kind of force his hand on what he wants to do next. I'm going to assume that was a misplay, or a misclick. 9 here. I think this is okay, but just in case. I don't see him going heavy into the Big Mom. Okay. We'll just assume the 5-drop law is still standing, right? I'll figure it out. It's fine. But yeah, I didn't think he would attach the Dawn to leader to swing into it, so he's gonna bounce the 1-drop. Plays Bonnie. That's 2 blockers here. Realistically, he has 3. Okay, never mind. Plays the law back down. Sure. Freezes this. Not bad. Not bad. Do we just burn here and call it a day? Because that pushes us up back to 4. That might just be the obvious play, right? We'll do that. And then I guess we just go 5 here with lead. Then maybe Big Mom will just take a hit. Actually, we don't have to attack with her, realistically. Okay. But we really don't. But this will get the Bonnie off the board. Because now this gives him options to clear Big Mom and or Kid here. So maybe we shouldn't have swung with the Big Mom. What does he do? I think his other options are Shanks and Hody Jones. I've seen some lists run Hody, but I do know a lot of LoL decks do run Shanks. My list includes Shanks. I think Shanks is pretty good here. He's able to kill the Kid. I know that sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. We got a Hawkins. Let's do this, actually. What could go wrong? That's nice. It's actually pretty good. 10 drop Mom, maybe? Actually, no. Let's keep that. We'll get rid of the Robin. Just in case he plays a 7 drop and heals 1. Satori. We won't play this. Mm-hmm. 2 left. So he's going to go for game. We'll take this hit as well. There's a Capone. We'll put this on leader. I guess it really doesn't matter here. It's probably better to put it on Jewelry Bonnie, but I mean, he'll attack with Bonnie. That way we can clear it if we need to. That's game. Well played, buddy. Good game. I mean, this does seem like a very, very quick video. I'm sorry, but it's been an hour at this point. And we got 5 games in. I talked a lot. My voice is kind of hoarse now, to be fair. On top of allergies today, so I apologize for that. With that being said, this means this will be the last game of the day, and we will be diving back into Law for the next video. And yes, that's green-yellow. Okay. Of course. Ooh, we get Magnet here. This might be a little weird. This might be a weird play. But you know what? Let's just pop it. Let's just do it. Because we kill it, or he leaves it here and just takes the hit with Katakuri, and then just gets a card in hand for free. Regardless, he's going to get a card no matter what, right? This way we can just kill the blocker and then do a damage. Because he's going to draw off leader's skill. And then we just go face, or he counters out here. If he counters out, that's great for us, because we got rid of a card in hand, along with a body on board. If he takes the hit, that's even better, because we got rid of the blocker, and we have life rip. So, I think it's a win-win-win, to be fair. I mean, your boy is kind of at 7 cards now, so there's that. But Usopp's not really touching the Big Moms. He's not touching the 8-cost Kid, unless he's running the Red Rock, right? To be fair. Leo comes down. He does Leo things. Yep, rest that. Draws Soul Demon. And One-Legged Soldier. Okay. Trashes Luffy. That's a really good card here in this matchup. Sure. Soul Pocus, Nico Robin. We go to 6 Dawn next turn, so we can play Robin. And then go 5 lead. I don't like to show them that we have Soul Pocus. So we'll probably throw away the 7-cost Mom. I like the Soul Pocus to be a surprise, you know? I doubt we get to use it here, but who knows? Does he have another Deo? For 2. Because that would be crazy if he didn't. That way we got 2 attacks in. Okay, so he does have one. Let's burn the life first. There's a Zoro. Go 5 lead. He's got 6 in hand here, so he can't use the leader ability. He needs to be at 5 cards. If something dies, you know, then he can draw. So I think we'll get a card out of hand here. Gives me the 2k counter. Okay. Love to see it. Goes to 7. Does he have the Rebecca? Does he have the Kyros? So there was a Kyros there. Yep. That was pretty good. 5 lead, 4 cards left. I can take this hit, actually, and be okay. Another base of Hawkins. Let's go ahead and do the thing. Draw 2, trash 1. Interesting. It always sucks to see double 0 cost event. It really does. We'll get rid of the Soul Pocus here. We don't have time to play it next turn. Because I want to play the 7-drop Mom, realistically. And then he should let me heal up. Yep. We'll go 7. That's another draw 2 trash one, by the way, but I'll keep it on top for now. We're not going to use the ability. I want to keep it for later, just to remove a blocker if we want to go for game. He's got Luffy in trash, he's got a Kyros in trash. Some of his late game pieces are gone. Of course he does have more in the deck, but you know what I mean. There's another Luffy. He does have stage up, so he's going to smack my mom here. Yep, 9k. I can't let him take this. He has no blockers on board after this as well. 0 cost event kind of sucks here, man. It really does. But what are you gonna do? Alright, go ahead, bully me. Got yourself a 6k, yep. Oof. Man, as much as I want to use this, this would really help me, I think. But just in case, let's go ahead and do it. Trash the Robin, goes 5. We'll give him the other Robin. I really wanted to save onto it, just in case he played down another blocker on board, but we needed to kind of fix his hand a little bit. It helps somewhat, let's be fair. We'll give ourselves the banish. He's got no blockers down, 5 in hand. We have an opportunity of removing the Zoro here as well, if I want to play down Nami. Let's go 9 lead. What do we got? Another Hawkins. Yo, so that's double Hawkins and Electro Cannon. So we've drawn 6 extra cards, which is kind of nice. I guess we can clear Zoro, right? Or we can go face. I think this is the better play. Because Luffy can't swing unless he just gets rid of everything in his trash. I think we're okay. Play this down. I'll remove the 0 cost event. We'll pop the Zoro. I don't know why I was trying to say Luffy there. And we draw back into another 0 cost event. A little awkward. Okay. I'm guessing he has the removal in hand, because now she's a 5. Is he about to Hound Blaze me? Uh-oh, he's gonna Hound Blaze me. Rebecca, never mind. Into, okay. I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I did not expect that. That was nice. But you have 1 blocker on board and I still have 3 attacks. So okay, never mind. He's gonna clear the Nami off the board. He has 8 cards in trash. We have exactly 8k here too. That sucks, man. I mean, Hawkins did draw us the W. Good game, buddy. Well played. Yep, pop this. And that's it, boys. Unless he has all 2K counters in hands. I didn't think so. He had the Red Rock, though. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of the video, in which today we played around with Charlotte Katakuri and OP10. I had a lot of fun with this leader, as I always do. Played a lot of Katakuri, played a lot of Nell, set 7, set 8, had a good old time. Now being in set 10, this leader comes back with a vengeance, has a lot of life rip mechanics, very, very aggressive, a lot of fun to play. I do hope you guys give it a shot. Make a list, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments below and what you guys are cooking up when it comes to Katakuri, and we'll talk about it. Now, for changes or other additions in which I would like to add to this list is going to depend on my local meta, or whatever big event I'm going to. If Jewelry Bonnie is going to do very, very well here with these, these bans and these changes, you might be seeing her running around. And there's a problematic character out there that everybody typically knows, which is Eustace Kid. And it's very hard for Katakuri to get over Eustace Kid, so we need a way of removing this. And if Jewelry Bonnie becomes top of the tier again, which I hope so, we're going to have to tech in a little bit and utilize 8-cost Katakuri, which allows for us to remove it, but at the same time, we're adding more cards to this deck that don't have counter. It's just something to consider, depending on if your local scene is going to be packed with Jewelry Bonnie players. You're going to need a way around that, but mostly, I'll be fair, with the life rip mechanic here that you have access to in this list, Kid necessarily isn't like a huge threat where you're swinging 7k almost every turn with your leader, and when you aren't, you're dropping a big body on board, you're ripping a life, you're swinging 7, your opponent's going to arrest it, and then they either attack your face or they attack into this character, and with all the counter you have ways of protecting it, but it's a give and take, right, to be fair. He does help out, he allows you to remove the Kid and some other problematic cards in the current format, so just take that with a grain of salt, right? He's very useful. It's just you're taking out a counter in your deck that include him in the list, or you're taking out other characters, which can hurt the deck or hurt the flow or the consistency of how the build is. Because this isn't searchable unless we're running the 1-drop pudding, which we aren't, but just something to keep in mind. Katakuri, nice addition here. There are some other very, very solid yellow cards here in the current format that do well, such as Shirahoshi. I opted to run the Brûlée, not because Brûlée is better, but Brûlée can come off the trigger. I can see it on trigger with my ability, and I can place it where I want to and utilize it when I need it. Whereas a Shirahoshi does well, but I'm not going to be running into a lot of Raplucci players, you know what I mean? Ice Age is gone. Not a lot of people are going to want to pop this willingly, unless they want to heal you or they don't have a choice, which is great. But Green Decks doesn't really have a lot of ways of popping characters. They're going to arrest it, attack into it. You know what I mean? Shirahoshi has a lot of value, but I'd much rather have the Brûlée where I can put it on life with my 8-cost Katakuri if I'm running this, or see it on life and rearrange it with my leader ability and trigger it when I want to. Shirahoshi is still a good addition to the list as well. Don't exclude her. If you have it, if you want to use it, by all means, don't disregard her. She's very, very good here, and a lot of deck matchups right now. The other good options, of course, are going to be Sanji. This allows for another blocker off life. So again, you have quite a bit of different cards you can utilize in Katakuri. You have slots open 4 currently that you can play around with, unless you're taking out other cards here in the list, like you're going down on Nico Robin here, you're removing some of these. The upsides to this card, off trigger, if you guys are going to utilize the Bonnie, this allows you to play Bonnie off of out of hand as well. So if you get this off life, you can play Bonnie down for free. You can play down the Brûlée out of hand for free. You have a blocker there. You can drop the Onami down just to have another body on board to swing if that's what you need to do to go for game. This has a lot of utility with 3 drops. So if you have a lot of 3 drops you're interested in running in Katakuri, make sure you're including Nico Robin. That way you can get her off of life to play something else down for free on board, which is nice. Now when it comes to useful triggers, we don't have a whole lot that are 3 drops that Katakuri typically utilizes outside of Pawseplayz. And as you notice, I didn't run Pawseplayz today. and I'm not going to include him in this list particularly. No counter. He's very good, but I'm not necessarily looking for a let's find Big Mom deck. You know what I mean? I want to burn life. I want to get going as quickly as I possibly can. The other good options here are going to be Nekomamushi, another solid choice for Katakuri, especially off life. And then you have your 5-drop Monkey D. Luffy. Again, you're not running into that problem where you need to see that removal all the time. Doflamingo has been cut back a ways, so this is something that you can consider if you really need it. If not, keep it moving. This is just some of my picks for the day when it comes to Katakuri in the current format. But I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a lot of fun, as it always is. This has been Pawseplays. Please remember, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe for future content when it comes to all things One Piece here on the channel. And I will catch you guys at locals and or in the next video. Stay safe out there. Good luck on your openings when it comes to OP10. I will catch y'all later.